Hello and welcome to Digits in Gaming. I am Syntosis and this is another episode of Direwolf20's 1.19 modpack. We are going to start Create. So, I might have started a couple of seconds ago and forgot to put the recording on. But we won't go into that because, it was true. Anyway, I created some sandpaper. So sandpaper, because I've got it in my hand, it's created like this. It's basically paper and sand. That creates sandpaper. Really, it's that simple. You've got red sandpaper, which gives you a little bit more durability, and then you've also got diamond dust sandpaper, so it creates diamond grit sandpaper with the highest durability. But this is cheap, and we've got tons of sugar or sugar cane to make paper, so I just knock some together. You need these rose quartz. So I've got in the system, I've added rose quartz to the crafting, and rose quartz is very, very simple to make. It's one piece of nether quartz and then 8 pieces of redstone. Create the nether quartz, put it in your offhand, or put it in your normal hand, and then put the sandpaper in your offhand, and right click them together. And you literally shave it down. Now this gives you something called polished rose quartz, which is needed, and we need some more sandpaper. So we could do red sandpaper, but I cannot be bothered. I can't even remember. I can't even remember if I've got some red sandpaper actually. Let's just grab some of that. We'll grab 64. Do we have red sand? No. So if we wanted, well, that's end sand. That's sandpaper. Why is that end? Oh, it's any type of. No, that's sandpaper there. This is the normal one. Oh, that's the paper. That's sandpaper. There we go. Red sandpaper. Red sand. Where do we make red sand? No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just pain. What about this? We can crush it. I suppose we could do that. But we're not going to, because this is just simpler. So let's grab some sand, like so, and we will shove that in there and that in there and just do a whole bunch. Yeah, probably not the best idea to just lob it. So we'll put that in our other hand, and we'll use this sandpaper, and then every time a sandpaper destroys itself, it should refill it. Now, while we're waiting for that to work, so rose quartz is used in some of the crafting of Create, which we'll see in a moment. I'm only going to get a little bit of this done. We've also got other bits and pieces that we need to get set up. So this is just like the first tiny little bit. And I will stop this in a second, and we'll go back and we'll do some more stuff. So if you look at polished rose quartz, it's used with an iron sheet to create electron tubes. It's also used here to do rose quartz lamps. There's a couple of other like decorative blocks as well, but predominantly what it's used for is these electron tubes. Now these electron tubes are used to make quite a lot of the mechanical things, well, pretty much all of them. So brass funnels and tunnels are ways of, sort of moving things about and taking things in and out of things. You've got gear shifts, you've got contraption controls, smart fluid things, some basic items there. Yeah, that's the brass tunnels that I was on about. So they're used in quite a few things, obviously, and some of the crafting things to make like Tesla cores or some bigger items as well. So they're needed. We don't need an awful lot of them. Purely and simply because, well, you don't need an awful lot of them. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There are other things that you need. So you need a decent supply of andesite. Andesite is like one of the main things that you basically use. You need a decent supply of logs. You also, and I'm going to chuck all these back in here now because we don't need the rest of them. So we've got 32 polished rose quartz, which is cool. I'm going to go into my offhand and chuck the other ones back in there, and then we're going to go over to here and we're going to go to Create. So like I said, there's a couple of things that you do need. One, you need zinc nuggets, which comes from zinc ingots. So if you have a look at where the zinc comes from, you know, it comes from all different places, but pretty much smelt raw zinc into it, and that will get you these zinc ingots. Hence the reason why we were smelting zinc ingots a while ago, because we knew that Create was going to need that. And I've just spotted a raiding party over here, so we're going to deal with those in a minute. So we've got zinc ingots, basically zinc nuggets. That's what you do. You just put them in there, pretty much the same as any other type of nugget. You just create a whole bunch of nuggets. Those nuggets are then used with andesite to actually create andesite alloy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find some andesite alloy, because otherwise you won't know how to create it. Which, there it is. So andesite alloy is really quite simple. You can use iron nuggets or andesite, but we haven't got a use for the zinc, and so we use the zinc nuggets and andesite, and it creates andesite alloy. And you just create a whole bunch of them. Done. Okay. Now the andesite alloy, so difficult to say. Andesite alloy is used in different, various different bits and pieces. So if we go into here, you can see that you've got minecart couplings, you've got a rolling mill, which is going to be quite handy for the sheets that we saw in one of the other recipes. You've got mechanical arms, you've got gantry stuff. Like, there is a few bits and pieces that you need this for. So it's one of those things that you just need to get stock of. Quite simple. You know, it's pretty straightforward. It's a basic one. What we do need, however, is a decent supply of wood, which we are lucky to have. We've got a whole bunch of oak. Here we go. So I'm going to grab 4 pieces of oak just to give you an idea. You just slap them down and right click with an axe and you strip them. Then you use the andesite alloy on it and it creates andesite casings. Now, andesite casings, you whack them with an axe, chops them up a bit quicker. Andesite casings are used in a hell of a lot of stuff. So this is, you know, like all pretty much everything that you really do need, like the millstone to crush things down before you've got the crushing wheel. You've got encased chain drives, which are absolutely brilliant. Mechanical harvesters, which we will get into as well. You've got the clutches, the encased fans. You know, these are used all the way throughout the system, like throughout the whole Create system. So it's something that you do need to get a good stock of. And obviously they're pretty simple to create. There is a way of actually creating these using a deployer. So as with everything in Create, you can actually create contraptions using Create to create the things that Create needs to create things. Yeah, try rewinding that one or me saying that again. But anyway, you can use it to create itself, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So we can do all of this kind of stuff. The other thing we need a massive amount of is kelp. Now, kelp is used for these mechanical belts. So dried kelp, so you dry out, basically you harvest the kelp, you dry out the kelp, you then basically put 6 of them together. Is it 6 of them? 6 of them together? Yeah, 6 of them together to do a mechanical belt. Or you can do a dried kelp block for 9 of them to store them. So there's mechanical belts are used, again, all over the place. But they're used to transport items between the different bits and pieces. So if you've got any kind of input, output, it will travel along the belt, it will do the stuff it needs to do, and then it will be pulled away to somewhere else. So really important that you get a good supply of that. Now, we don't have a good supply of kelp, but we are going to have a good supply of kelp soon. And we probably will go and try and find some kelp to start us off. That's if we haven't found it already and I have shoved it in the ME system. Because I generally, if I find kelp, I will try and grab as much as I can just so that we can start off. Now, shafts and cogwheels and large cogwheels are also something that we need quite a lot of. because these are the ones that transfer the mechanical or the chemical or whatever energy it is into forces, so rotational force and all that kind of stuff. So you use the cogs and you use the gears and you use these vertical gearboxes, etc., to transfer that energy from, say, a wind turbine or a water wheel into like a crushing force or a mixing force, the mixer, or into the deployer. So again, we're going to use quite a lot of those. So these are pretty simple andesite alloy. So as you can see, the andesite alloy is used in quite a lot of places. So we are going to make another one of those, because these are a pain in the ass. Like you're always making them, so it's just a nightmare. So I am also going to add one of those, and I'm also going to add one of the bigger ones, so that we don't have to keep coming back and doing these ones over and over and over again. Now, the other thing that we will eventually get into, and this is pretty straightforward, and this will be in the induction smelter, is zinc and copper. Okay, so this will create brass. Now, we can create brass right now. Okay, we can just go downstairs. We've got an induction smelter. We can just shove this in there and we're all good. Now, obviously, when we're first starting out, we will go into brass, and brass stuff is pretty straightforward. But at the moment, it's something that I'm not going to just jump straight into. But I am going to make the brass ingots there. So we know now that that's in the induction smelter. So if we need it, it's there. And then obviously the rest of the create items go into here. So that should give us our basics, just so that we don't have to keep going back and doing the basics. Now, I understand that obviously we need a way of doing the andesite casings, which we will get to, but we need create machines to do that. I say we need create machines to do that. There are other ways of doing it. But create machines pretty much, unless it's manual, a create machine is the stuff that we need. So we need to see if we've got any kelp. Now, did I find any kelp? I did. I've got 36 kelp. So I've obviously found kelp at some point. Now, we are going to go and sleep, because I just realised what time it was. We're going to go find that raiding party, which is to our left. There they are. We're going to go kill them, because they're a raiding party, and, well, I want to kill them. Don't know about down there. Let's turn the light thing off, and then we will show you the other pieces, but we are going to get rid of these guys first. And boom. Is there anyone else? Nope, that looks like it. Well, for the moment it looks like it. Well, I can't see anyone else, so we're going to leave them there. Right. Let's get back inside. It's not a thunderstorm, so we can't sleep. But we're going to go and show you the progress. So, the progress been done has... obviously I fixed that, knocked everything into the wall. I moved this one into the wall as well. And then I've opened up this space. I've added 3 elevators, 1, 2, and then obviously the third one was already there, but I've added 2 more. So we've now got 3 elevators, and if we go downstairs, this room mirrors the one above. So we've got a nice big area for create. I need to drop some stuff through the walls. I need to get some power. Well, power we don't actually need to do, because we've got flux points. So we do need a couple of flux points, but realistically this is create. We don't need that. Create is all about the different forces, and we could use the electricity to drive some of the machines, because there are electrical machines. So if you have a look at the water wheel, for instance, the water wheel is pretty straightforward with wood and shaft, basically, planks and shaft. We're going to get a couple of water wheels, because we need them. But realistically, this is how we're going to start create, because the machines that you need in create. So if we go over to create and have a look at some of these machines, they're pretty intensive, and you need some of the mechanical crafters, which we can't get right now because we don't have the resources to do that. So there's a few things that we need to do to get these things. So if we have a look at, where is it? There is an electrical engine, I think it's called. An engine? Might not be called an engine. It's called electrical something. Oh, there we are. Electric motor. There we go. So we got an alternator, which obviously will generate power. So alternators. Oh, that's the other thing as well. Actually, if you hold down the W button for create. In fact, actually, if you click away from it and then hold down the W button, you can actually see it in action. So it'll give you detailed examples of what it actually does. So this generates RF from the rotational force, which I was telling you about. So the rotational force, you could link on a water wheel on this, you could do a windmill, that kind of stuff. That's where the force would come from, and it would generate electricity. And that generation of electricity would then allow you to use the electric appliances, which in our case, it would be the electric motor. And the electric motor would be supplied, and then the electric motor would then push rotational force into other things to power those machines. So you're essentially transferring RF energy into rotational force, or rotational force using an alternator into energy. So back and forth. So really straightforward. And yeah. So are we going to start with this? Quite possibly, actually. Thinking about it now. We have a ton of RF. So why would we not? That would be why. Because to make these, we need these, which is mechanical crafters. And mechanical crafters, actually, strike that, we need iron. We could make a hammer. And we could make some iron. Actually, you know what? I think that's not a bad idea. Because if we could get those mechanical crafters, I mean, we've got the rose quartz. If we could get the mechanical crafters, then we would be in a much better position. That would be kind of cool. Yeah. All right. So let's do that. So we've got 64 of those. I think 64 will be enough for now. We'll probably go through these quite quickly. But mechanical crafters, right, so mechanical crafters we'll get into. But, we need some brass. So let's go and grab some brass. There we go. Let's get 64. There we go. Right, so while that's crafting, let's have a look at the mechanical crafters. Okay, so mechanical crafters are used like a crafting system that will allow you to craft different things. Okay, and then so the brass options is obviously stripped logs, just brass ingots, pretty much like we do with the andesite ones. So mechanical crafters, let's go and find those and add. That's a good job. Right, we'll add those to the list over here. So mechanical crafters, and we are going to go into here. So you link them all together, basically. An array of mechanical crafters can be used to automate tasks. Using a wrench, you can arrange them, and they will basically merge it all into one and then come out the bottom. For valid setups, yeah, they converge into one exit point. Okay. And then, yeah. Mechanical crafters require rotational force. Pretty straightforward. So we do need a water wheel or something at the front. And then you right click and you insert the stuff on the front. It then merges all together. It creates the item here and then spits it out onto wherever it's going to go, whatever it's going to go. The start can be forced by a button. Oh, okay. All right. So we can make a big wall of these things and then we can just tell it, go for it. That's fine. So yeah, that's a mechanical crafter. Pretty straightforward. They are pretty straightforward machines. But yeah, they are quite necessary. They're quite a pain in the arse, to be honest. You get a bit annoyed with this stuff sometimes because it's just so time consuming, but at the same time it is pretty cool. Like, it is pretty cool stuff. So we've got 64, so let's go down here, and over here I'm just going to run along here. And then we're going to strip these logs like so. Like so. And then brass case them. So just run along, whack it with a bit of brass, and the brass casings will miraculously appear. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking the log and you're encasing it with brass to make it stronger, just like a normal, like you would. Just give it the edges, and then obviously get rid of them. So drop them up, put them in your inventory, and then we're good to go. We should be able to start at least creating some of our first items. Now there is one thing that I forgot to do, and that is port the ME system down here. So we are definitely going to do that in a minute. But for now, while we're just setting things up, this is all manual. So I don't know whether I should do, you know what, in fact actually I should do it now so that it doesn't wind me up. Now do I need a big massive pillar in the middle? Yes, quite possibly. There are 21 of 32 channels coming out of here. Do I want more coming out of there, or do I want a separate channel coming out and going down? Ideally, I would like a separate channel going down here, but I'm not sure if I can sort the dense cables right now because I don't have a lot of glowstone. And glowstone is one of the reasons why we're getting into create, so that we can start creating as much glowstone as possible. So let's have a look at the dense cable. Okay, so I've got 1 or 2 bits of dense cable. Let's have a look at the Fluix dense, and then obviously you put different colors and stuff like that around it to give it the different color coded parts. Yeah, I'm not sure that we can make this stuff. I don't think we've... Oh, hang on. It uses wool and... No, I don't want 1,000. Maybe 40. Okay, 40 is fine. Yeah. Okay, we can make 40. Right, so there's obviously some other stuff that's being crafted. So while this is going, let's pick a color. So we want... so this is dense covered cable, which is not smart cable. So smart cable just gets redstone. Okay, so it just gets redstone and glowstone, which is where the glowstone comes in. Right, okay. But for now, we need 8 of them before we can use dense cable, and we need blue. So we're going to use blue. We're going to use lapis because lapis we've got tons of. So I'm just going to throw 1 in there and get a couple of stacks of color. And then what we will do is, once we've got the dense cable, we will go straight down from here, straight down. That should give us 32 channels, I believe. So I can't go straight, or can I? Because that doesn't look like it is. 0 of whatever. This is not on. Okay, so where's this going? It goes in there. And what is down there? Oh, that's power, isn't it? Is that power? Oh, I can't even see. Alright, let's break that. That's not connected to anything. So I am going to break it. Because If it's not connected to anything, why is it there? So we don't really need it if it's not connected. So let's just get rid of it. Right, that hasn't impacted any of that, so that's fine. Right, so this purple cable we probably use later, but yeah, what I'm thinking is it'll go straight down here. Right, and if I'm right, we should just come... Yeah, there we go. We could just come straight out there. That'll be fine. Right, now I need to get up. Which I can't get up. Right, okay, so let's break that block. Get over... Nope, shit. Let's get back up there. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the cable straight down there once that's created. Which it's still going, so something is amiss. Sometimes these get blocked. Not always, but sometimes. Unless... something might be wrong. Somewhere. Oh, there we are. Okay, so... For some reason... That has not gone back into the system. That filter is on. So it should have picked it up. But it didn't because it's full of crystals. Right, okay. It's full of crystals. So it should have been picked up, but it wasn't. No, fell through the bloody thing again. Right, get away from it. I need an advanced, which should be in my backpack. Might be in the system because we need another advanced. It's not going to work that way. It needs to be put into the system by itself. So let's get over here. We've got all of these little things around. No, that's not going to work either because we don't have an empty ender chest. So let's get an ender chest. There we go. Ender chest. Done. Alright. Bingo. Okay. We are going to put the ender chest over here and we're just going to literally pick up Fluix crystals. So we could probably take that one off because the filter is there. So let's get rid of that one. There we go. And we're just going to do it over here. So we will put that there. We will put this down because we don't really need it to be massive. And then we will put a Fluix on there. And we'll put whitelist, so MBT doesn't matter. So now I've got 2. What the hell? Right, get rid of that. And we'll put it on there. Right, whitelist, MBT doesn't matter. 2x2, which will cover... No, let's put it 3x3x3. In fact, actually, 4 doesn't matter because it's only ever going to pick this up. And we'll put the Fluix in there. There we go. The Fluix then should have registered. And there we go. It made our 40. Okay, so if I do... You know what? If I do the blue dye and I take those, right? And then I go to here and let's make the dense cable because we might ultimately need it at some point. So this is dense covered. Right, so can we do dense covered? No, we can't. We've got to make it smart first. That was what I was looking for. So redstone and glowstone, unfortunately. We've only got 12 of those, so we need 8 of those. So we've done that. And we can put that in the system in a moment. In fact, actually, let's go put them in the system now. Like so. And then actually we can create another one up here, which will be, so smart. Now we've got Fluix smart cable. Dense smart cable, dense smart cable. What did I just put in the system? Did I just put a smart cable in there? Fluix ME. Did I already have dense? I already had Fluix ME dense smart cable and a crafting recipe for it, so I don't actually need that crafting recipe. So let's come out, put that, no, you can't wipe it that way. I think you have to right click it. Yeah, there we go. No. No. We will find a way of sorting that out in a minute. Right, so we've got dense smart cable, and I need 8 of them. So I'm going to throw those back in there, and I need 8. There we go. This is going to be very, very close. So we need 8. Oh, wrong one, wrong terminal. Right, so there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, good point. 1 would be fine. No, okay. Let's just right click one at a time then. There we go. It doesn't like it. Why doesn't it like it? It should like it. Fluix ME. Crafting recipe. There we go. There we go. Do I have a trash? So that's blue ME dense cable. Let's go and shove that up here. Now the reason you use the colours is because they shouldn't mix. Like they should separate, which will be good. There you go, see? So it'll be nice to have all of those 32 channels going downstairs. And then obviously you've got the dense cable. You know, we need some more smart cable really. Although, do we really need smart cable going here all the way down? Maybe just at the top to see how many channels we've got, and then we could probably go down further. Yeah, that might be overkill. Let's do dense smart cable. So let's just go and get one of those. And then we've already got the lapis, so we'll go and sort that out now. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of these. And we'll do a blueprint for that. I think that would be good. Because then, like I said, we've got the smart cable that we can use downstairs. So if we do dense. Right, so that's the blue dense. Just do 20 of them for the moment. 24 is fine. And then what we can do, we leave the top one. We should then know how many channels we've got. And if we go down, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that one so we can pick it up. And then we can jump up here. There we go. So it will still carry 32 channels, but it's just more hidden. And we need to get up there somehow. So let's get some blocks actually. Let's get some sand. Sand's easiest to knock out. Realistically, if they're going to be coming across the top, we're going to want our smart cable to start here. We can always move this, but the smart cable should be here, going in directions, right? So it should be going down that direction. It should be going down that direction. If I can get up there again. That direction. It should be coming down as well. So we've got 32 channels all coming from upstairs, and then we should have the smart cable coming down so that we can then split that out and do what we need to do. We're also going to need a central column here, I think, with ME, wrong one, that one, with some proper cable. Well, it's all proper cable, but you know what I mean. With some of this cable, and then obviously we need our other pieces. So let's get back upstairs. Let's get some of those. We need a crafting terminal. ME crafting. We'll get one of them. Right, while we're waiting for that, let's go downstairs and start with the column. So this is where it's going to be. So it's there. Pretty much. We will make this pretty at some point, but right now this is functional. And I don't care about pretty, because I just need it to be functional. So if we run the cable up here, so that we've got 8 channels, and then we can just put these around here. And I'm going to leave it like that. I might put some glass or something around there at some point, but right now I'm just going to leave it. So let's get our ME terminal. There's a lot of aesthetic stuff that I want to do, but I'm just not going to do it right now. Right, so we've got the terminal. It's slightly off-center, but I don't really care at the moment. One thing I will do, though, is get rid of this for a second, because I put the terminal in the wrong place. The terminal should be there, so that everything looks a bit better. Let's do that and that, and then there's our little plinth. I might move it over at some point, but right now, you know, just really don't care. I just want to get some stuff in. So we're going to sort by number of items and descending like we always do, and then we're going to shove those in there. We're going to shove the sand back. So that, oh, we're going to put that in there as well. Right, so that will give us these. The mechanical crafters, obviously, when I've asked for the brass, I've got the brass, I've got all the pieces for it. Now, mechanical crafters are literally electron tubes, brass casings, and crafting tables. Crafting tables are, you know, pretty straightforward. If you don't know what they are, well then why are you playing Minecraft? So I'm not going to go through those. The casings we've made, so you've seen those. The electron tubes, you've seen me polish the quartz, and the iron sheets you've seen me build, like knock out. So literally I'm not going to go through it. We've got 32 of them, which should be enough for what I need. What I am going to look at, though, is what the electric motor will be. Okay, so we will more than likely do water wheels and all that kind of stuff as well, but I have electricity. I have a decent amount of it, so it would be stupid not to use it. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these things, as it says there, but I don't look at that because I'm dumb. I look at this. It says 12. In that, 5 across, 3, 3, 1, right? So what we need is to do 1, 2, oh, hang on. Let's put those. Do we put them in there or do we put them in here? That's a good question. Let's put them in here. So there's 12, and I know that we're going to need some more at some point, so I am going to make those, and I'm going to make the rest disappear. They're going to all go, in fact everything is going to disappear into into here. Because right now, I don't need it. But I will need it, if you see what I mean. So, crafters. I am going to designate that wall the craft wall. So with 5 of these across, so it was 3 at the bottom, 5 across, 3 and 1, right? So let's get that there. Now the power is going to come in from the side or the electric motor, but for now we need a way of making power, because we don't have one, right? So if we go for a cog, so we'll go for this cog. Now obviously we're going to need a lot more of these. Now there is a, I can't remember what it's called, a crank, I think. Crank, might be a crank. There we go. There's a wooden crank. It's a hand crank is what I want, not a wooden crank, that's something else. Right, so these things here, if we shove that there and then put that on there, I should overstressed. Slow down. Okay. I need to slow down the components. So this is another thing. Stress makes components break. So let's go get 10 of them and 10 of them to start with. Oh, yeah, use the 10 that I created there. Right, okay. So the way to reduce stress is obviously put more power and stuff into it. But you should be able to put little pieces in. I don't know whether that's going to work or not. The little one turns the big one, which turns the little one, which makes it go faster. No. Slow down the... Right, add more sources or slow down. So this is definitely going to need a water wheel. I was trying to get away from a water wheel, but it's not going to happen. So if I do small cog, big cog, small cog, and then we come out. So if I go and get some bars, so create, we need some of these, there we go. So we need some shafts, we need quite a few of those. We'll get them. So there's some shafts. We also need some wheels, some water wheels, which I already created earlier because I was hoping not to use them, but you know, it needs must. Right, so what we're going to do temporarily is just literally attach some water wheels. These are the small ones. They're not even the big ones. You know what? They will do. They will do. Right, so we're going to get some sand just to encase the water. So we're going to put that, we're not going to put it there, we're going to put it here. So we're going to encase this because we need to put water on it. And actually put it there. There we go. And now we can put the water wherever we want. But I'm guessing along there would be kind of cool, which we can't use this block for. So let's use cobble. So we need to build up here and across. Like so. And we'll encase that one as well. And then all the water should, all the stress stuff should go that way, right? So if we go get some water, do I have any water? A sink would be nice. Let's make a sink, another sink. We need a water bucket. Ah, crap. Oh, I knew we were going to need something or other. Right, let's get 2 water buckets. Let's go back up and grab some water. And then make a sink. Voila. We'll shove the sink down there and we'll use the water. Okay, so we got it working. So as you can see, rotational force with water wheels comes from the flow of the water over the water wheel. Okay, and the more you have, the more stress units it builds up. Now there is something called a pair of goggles, which helps. There's a pair of create goggles, which allow you to see the stresses and that kind of stuff. There's also a wrench, which you do need. I'm not joking. You do need the wrench. The wrench is awesome. So what we need to do is just hammer some golden sheets. You know what? Let's make a couple of these basic hammers. We're going to hammer a couple of sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're going to get a few more. We get ourselves a wrench, because they do come in really handy, and a pair of goggles, if we can. Glass, stained glass, connecting glass. Right, okay, clear stained. We need connecting glass, which is just glass, I think, in the 4. Glass. Right, let's get some glass. Dark connected quartz. So it should be 4 of these that give you 4 smooth glass. And then isn't smooth glass connecting? No, chiseled. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. Goggles. Right, goggles. We got goggles. So you have to take your hat off, put your goggles on, and then you can see. You should be able to see stresses. Slot, head. Maybe it's in here that I need to put them. No. There we go. So you should be, there we go, kinetic stress. So 16 SU at current speed, and this is producing 128. Okay, so just as long as this input is greater than this need or requirement, you're good. And we're going to leave these goggles in our slot because that's kind of cool. Right, this is very cool. So you just right click and you want to switch all of these so that they basically connect. And what I mean by connect is you can see the little arrow going down. What eventually you want it to do is come out at one of the ends or one of the sides or whatever. But only one of them. So you need to point everything else in to the next. So these ones will come down into here, this one will come down into there, and then that one needs to connect to this. This then can connect to the bottom or connect to the side. We're going to go to the side, so it'll go there, and then that one's connected to that, that one's connected to that, so this one needs to connect down. So what will happen is it will merge into this one, these ones will merge into this one will go down to here, then it will merge here, done. Sounds complicated, isn't really. Now we need to get some mechanical crafting components. So to make, and this is literally the end of the episode, we are going to make this and then that is it, because this has gone on way too long. We'll come back and we'll do the rest of it, and I'll make some of the other pieces so that we can then just blow through and get a tutorial, because we need to get the kelp going. So what we need is an electric thingamajiggy, and I don't know if we can do this. We might have to get some components. No, we can't do this because we need copper spools, we need andesite alloy, we need copper strands, we need our iron rods. So we need a rolling machine to get the flat stuff. Then we need I think the rolling machine again, don't we? Well, 2 of those will give us the iron rods actually, so we might be able to make those. Might be able to make the iron rods, but copper wire, we could use wire cutters, I suppose, or a metal press, but the rolling machine is the better one. And the rolling machine actually we could probably make, so if we get some more andesite andesite or alloy. Let's just get a bunch of it. We should be okay to make a couple of these, well, one of these even. We just need one, to be honest. Electric motor. We're going to add that to our quick bar. Brass sheets, pretty straightforward. We've got no brass, so we're going to need some brass. Let's get a stack to start with. So that will craft up. Let's have a look at what else we need. Brass, we need the capacitor, which is copper sheet, zinc sheets, and a redstone torch. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode, because this episode's getting quite long. I'm going to get all of this ready so that we can make these next time. Empty spool, pretty straightforward. There's the empty spools, done. The rest of the stuff is, you know, like this, pretty straightforward. We can grab them. These, we need copper sheets. Actually, we might as well do copper sheets now, because these are, again, simple. It's just a two-step process, which we could do some wire cutters, and then obviously we get the copper, and we wire cut the copper, and then you wind it around a spool. So you put 4 of them, and you put 1 spool, and then you've got copper wire on a spool, which would give you all of this. Capacitors, again, we need zinc. Okay, so we need, again, really simple. I mean, it's just zinc, so it's not, you know, it's not mental. So we can make the capacitors. There we go. What else do we need? So brass sheets, capacitor, andesite alloy. Actually, we might as well make one now. We've got 3 of these. I'll make more, but we've got everything we need. So it just needs to be placed in the right places. So you place that one there. You place an iron rod here, I think it was. There's an iron rod there. Yeah, there we go. 3 spools. So 3 spools around it. 1, 2, 3, like so. Get the rest of this crap out of the way. Put that in there, because we need that now. And we need the brass stuff. So we'll put 1 of those up there, and then the rest of it is brass. Which I'm pretty sure I put in. There we go. So now we need a hammer. Engineer's hammer. Fine. Boom. There's our brass sheet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then it should slowly start to merge. There you go. That's it. That literally is making this. This will make our life a lot easier, because we'll be able to replace the wheels, make it go a bit faster. Yeah. We'll be able to start our journey on Create. This is the mechanical crafters in process in their entirety, really. This is all they do. Like, they can be bigger recipes, they can be smaller recipes, but they all work the same way. And if you trigger a redstone signal, you can have a big wall of these. And yeah, that's it. So there, it's made the item. Now it will shrink it and pop it out. Done. There we go. Now we have an electric motor. That is it. That literally is it. It's really simple once you've got the components. Now obviously it's just getting the components. And we can automate that. So that will be the next thing. We don't need a water wheel anymore. We've done that. We've done all these. We've got all those in the system. So we need some depots, which, you know, andesite and alloy. These are all really, really simple things now. So a brass hand is just andesite and that. We're going to make all these. I'm going to make everything that you see here probably next episode. I'm going to make these, because they're all standard components. Dried kelp is the only thing that we haven't. So I will make the stuff that we need to do the dried kelp. So we're definitely going to need a mechanical harvester, which is a very cool thing. It literally will harvest stuff. in water, outside of water, you know, wherever, whatever it needs to be harvested, but it will drop, and then you can pick it up. You can also put things on here that will look like a chest. There we go. So as it goes round, it will put it in the chest. And then there's these things that will allow it to pick up and stop and do. But those things, again, all run off of rotational or, you know, whatever force. So I will get the pieces together, and then we will come back and we will make these. And we'll get that going, we'll get the kelp going, and then we'll be golden. We'll be well on the way to create once we've got the kelp. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I will see you again soon. You've been awesome. I've been Symptosis. Laters.